There's quite a few things that make Chugach different than most companies. Most companies are founded behind a particular product or an idea for a service. They spend a lot of their time focusing on their product or their service, and that's pretty much all they do. We were created by law. We serve a community of people, and a huge portion of our energy is spent focusing on serving that community. Original population was 1,906 people, and now we have 2,500 shareholders today. Our mandate is the definition of long-term. Challenges to a modern corporation, especially those that are on the New York Stock Exchange, they're looking at this 3 months and then the next 3 months and the next 3 months. We have the luxury of looking at the next 100 years. So we were given two things in the Alaska Native Claim Settlement Act, and those two things were cash and land. We're meant to make these organizations last forever and provide benefits forever. We weren't given business training, financial training, accounting skills. It's just take what you've got, take this cash and take this land and make something of it.
We were formed and made some investments in canneries and a sawmill in Seward.
And if you think about it, we're a coastal region with heavy timber on our lands. So it made sense. It was something that was around us, it surrounded us, it was familiar. My dad was a fisherman, my grandfather was a fisherman. So we all grew up off the sea, and going into those industries seemed to make sense. As we were investing fairly dramatically, using some debt, both those industries took a downturn, and then our company went into bankruptcy. And that was a really hard time for our organization. It was also a very hard time for our region because it coincided with the oil spill in the Prince William Sound. And that really shut down fishing for a couple of years and had devastating impacts on all the communities.
I think once you have lived through challenges like that, you do everything in your power to ensure that you never go back there again. Chugach was instrumental in getting involved in government contracting early on and taking advantage of large contracts, significant contracts that built our company quickly. The 8A program was really the missing link of the Settlement Act that creates an economic engine to be able to create profits, to be able to sustain the corporation and provide benefits. At the end of the day, regardless of the mechanism for getting the contracts, you have to perform it or you're not going to keep it. And so the relationship, the service, the high quality service, I think really as pioneers, that was the calling card for Chugach. And we remain very strong in our ability to do work for the government because they know those are our values. Started into government contracting in 1992. We paid off the bankruptcy in 2000 and provided our first dividend to the shareholders. 2009, we reached our highest gross revenue, which was over $1 billion in gross revenue from government contracting. 2014, we rolled out a new organizational structure that created a holding company for the government contracting and a holding company for the commercial division, and focused on our community with our cultural lands.
So the need to diversify the company was first and foremost related to the idea, the concept that we can't be involved in one main business. It's too risky for the shareholders. Not that that business itself was too risky, it was just that having one financial driver to the company was too risky. Investment 101 is really based in diversification, right? So if one of your assets doesn't do so well, your other ones maybe can support. The good owner philosophy is a way for us to think about how we serve our businesses and the assets that we own on behalf of the shareholders. So what we really want to do is we want to be the best owner of really great businesses that are well run that we can be. And so we think about it, the jobs that we do every single day as serving those folks that run and work so hard to make their businesses grow on behalf of the shareholders. And that's all it is, quite simply. We just want to be a really good owner.
I think what we've been able to create is a balanced corporation where the board has a responsibility to manage the portfolio, but also to manage the lands and the expectations of the shareholders by providing education and jobs and dividends and cultural preservation for 100 years, 200 years, forever. There's no end to it.
The people that work for Chugach, we find, are not just looking for a paycheck. They're looking for a community. They want to be part of something that is doing something greater than themselves.
And as leaders within the Chugach family, we want to make sure that we're taking care of not only our shareholders, but also taking care of our employees. It's really unique, though, too, having our shareholders as employees. So talk about a group that has really bought in to this corporation.
They have a vested interest. Chugach, this is where we grew up. It's the resources that we utilize. I grew up with the saying is like, when the tide is out, the dinner table's set, and we're protecting that.
Many employees who have been with me nearly the whole 17 years that I've been there, and some of them I brought over from my previous position. And I believe that then that culture of leaving people better than we found them breeds better people inside the organization, which then provides better value to the corporation and ultimately to the shareholders.
So while we're always looking at the bottom line, we look across the board at how those dollars and cents decisions will resonate throughout the organization. And I think that really helps us to be the very best value at the end of the day.
We have to be satisfied with our approach. And our approach is transparent, upfront, open, honest, and ethical. And that's just how we do business. What we try to do is seek partners that do business the same way. And we feel like the more that we're consistent about our approach in doing business, we're going to attract employees, partners, other companies that want to do business with us that believe that the world should operate the same way we do.